Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Yes, it's on a Wednesday night due to the snowstorm and rainstorm that we had here in the Northeast that pretty much crippled a good amount of the state in not only in Rhode Island, but Massachusetts, Connecticut. New York took a little bit of a hit, and even up north to all our friends in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. They're still getting pounded with the snow right now. We're thinking about you guys are right at this point in this evening. What's going on? It is good old MF Michael Fletcher along with Anthony the Hitman Florio. We're hoping to get the Phenom Michael Bullock and the Twist Angel Dee Woodson, even though Dee kind of did say she didn't know what her status would be. We were hoping that we'll get her here tonight. If she does, I did send the invite. If she does arrive, then great. And same thing with Michael Bullock. So for the time being, it's going to be myself and Anthony. We're going to run a two-person weave, and we're also going to keep you posted on the NCAA first four matchup. It's Friars and the USC Trojans right now. For all you college basketball fans, especially you guys in the Rhode Island area, and for you guys out west in California, very important game. The winner plays SMU on Friday, and right now PC has ran out to a 13-point lead. They are up by a huge margin right now, getting pretty close to the end of the first half. It's 39-26 at the moment, with a timeout on the court right now. So throughout the night, periodically, we will keep you posted. If it does get tighter where commentary will be needed, we will stop the show momentarily and we'll go there. But until then, we're gonna focus on SmackDown Live, which was last night. And a lot of the times when we do the show, I like to get, that fast reaction, literally off the rails and everything else. But this time around, we're going to get a little more insight tonight from Anthony and myself and from all of us, because we had a day to really dissect it, had a day to, we're not going like full throttle, like, oh my God, and this and that. We're more, I think tonight you're going to see a little more, I want to say, informative. It's going to be out there. You're really going to get a real good sense of how we're feeling, you know, after this show went off the air. So, with that said, we kicked it off with AJ Styles cutting a promo. As many as you may know, unfortunately, David Otunga was busy doing something, and unfortunately, we did not have the Mauro Ranallo because, unfortunately, Mauro got stuck in it because of this weather. He was unable to get out of the city, so he was stuck at home, which meant we had Tom Phillips and JBL on commentary, a two-man booth for the night, which honestly I did not mind it. I kind of wish it was Mauro Ranallo more than anything else, because I think he's become SmackDown right now, and I would love to have heard his voice on the show last night with JBL. I think that would have been the better alternative than anything else. But I'll admit, Tom Phillips did an okay job. We'll talk about his performance later in the evening. But Styles talked about what happened to him, the road to WrestleMania, how, the fans were chanting his name, but he was getting sick and tired of being messed with by Daniel Bryan, by Shane McMahon, saying that he's the greatest superstar, that he should get the red carpet rolled out for him. He should have been in the main event at WrestleMania. Then then they made him jump through hoops like he's a circus animal, like a circus monkey, as a matter of fact, he said, and then complained that, hey, remember Cena got an opportunity, didn't deserve it, but he got it. and he won the belt. But when AJ asked for his opportunity, he was thrown in a triple threat fight, then thrown into Elimination Chamber. Very valid points. And then after Randy Orton forfeited his right to the shot at WrestleMania, he had to go through a battle royale. He technically was declared a co-winner, then had to fight Luke Harper, get another to fight that. He wins that fight. Then Orton burns down the hut, doesn't get arrested, yet he had to fight Randy Orton, and now Orton's in the main event of WrestleMania, and he's out of the mix. All valid points. He had every right to be angry. And even as an IWC fan, and I'm the biggest Randy Orton mark, I thought what happened with AJ Styles was shady as hell, and I would be up in arms and pitching a gripe, and he had every right to be angry. But the one thing that he said is, that he started talking about Shane McMahon. Remember that meltdown that happened last week? He's like, so this is what you call about, this is what you mean about opportunities and everything else. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he geared the ammunition at the wrong person, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, Shane McMahon went to bat for AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan felt that Randy Orton should have had the opportunity at the WWE Championship at WrestleMania because he was the winner of the Royal Rumble. Shane McMahon agreed with AJ Styles, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. I wanted you to be the number one contender. I wanted you to fight in the main event at WrestleMania. I came to your aid. There's no need for you to fly off the handle like this. But so going back to the promo, he was like, if I don't have a match at WrestleMania, then then I'm going to do something about it. What did he mean by that? Well, we'll find out later in the night what he meant by that. But until then, I thought this was a great promo. I thought this was solid, a serious, good way to start the show. And the thing is, I know it's storyline progression, but this really felt like a shoot promo for me because he made so many valid points, and they were spot on as well. There was really nothing I could argue with AJ's sentiments about not being in the main event at WrestleMania. Bring in Anthony the Hitman Florio, the man who allegedly tells it like it is. So, Anthony, why don't you come on in and give me your two thoughts about the opening segment. This, I thought, amazing promo by the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, that was a great way to start the show. And I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to this particular edition of SmackDown Live, it's not going to get the usual high praise that it usually does for me. I'll say it's more of a 50-50. It was phenomenal. The second half, well, not so much, with the exception of maybe one little thing. But we just started, so this is the first half. So this is where the positive stuff comes in. This is one of the positives right here. Very good promo. As much as Styles taking credit for the WWE Network subscriber count may seem silly, there was more of a serious tone rather than the over-the-top approach he has taken with most of his heel promos. And that promo sold me, and it sold me on the eventual confrontation with AJ Styles and Shane McMahon later in the evening. Good promo from Styles with a nice intensity. He's upset and clearly explained why he feels he deserves the WrestleMania main event. And it was a very good follow-up from last week's angle. No question about it. So, I basically agree with everything you said there, MF. So, with that being said, let's get into the wrestling action of the show. And are you ready for some hot women's action? I know I am.
Well, we started off with some hot women's action, as it was Becky Lynch going one-on-one with Natalia. Becky Lynch wins the match via submission with the disarmer, but before Becky could even get a minute to celebrate or to bask in the glory of a good victory, Carmella shows up and jumped both Becky and Natalia, basically making her intentions very clear that she was definitely out to try to win the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Anthony Florio, is all yours.
By a smidge, I thought this was the second best fight of the night for me. I'm going to give it 2 3/4 stars for my rating. Let me find my note here. Yeah, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good match overall. I thought they worked a nice pace and they kept up the intensity. The only thing, the commercial break did hurt the flow of the fight a little bit. But then again, how many times have we said the commercial break usually kills fights? But yeah, I mean, solid match between two very capable workers. Of course, we know these two will be a part of that huge match at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which, you got Alexa Bliss in there, you got Mickie James in there, you got Becky, you got Natalia, and now you got Carmella. Carmella's in a backstage interview with another beauty, Dasha Fuentes. Hey now. She said that she's going to be the next SmackDown Women's Champion, and enter Carmella into the mix. And I also think, MF, and I know you'll agree with me on this, we've been reading the dirt sheets over the last few weeks saying that, SmackDown WWE has been in contact with some women / divas of the past, like Kelly, for instance. And I even heard Victoria thrown around. So who knows? Maybe more could be added. I don't know. I mean, we don't even know what type of a fight it's going to be. Is it a gauntlet match? Is it a battle royale? What? Hopefully, Daniel Bryan and or Shane McMahon will give us some clarity on that within the next couple of weeks. Because after this show, I believe we only have 2 more SmackDown Lives before the show of shows, and that's WrestleMania 33. So, but for me, by a smidge, this was the second best fight of the night. And I'll tell you right now, both women's matches were amazing. That's all I'm going to say. But I felt by a smidge, the other one was better. And we'll get into that in a little bit. So 2 3/4 stars for me. Second best fight. And a nice little preview, a nice little sample of what we're going to get at WrestleMania and whatever this match is for the SmackDown Women's Championship, in which it's basically one versus all for Alexa Bliss, a la what they did with Roman Reigns in 2016 at the Royal Rumble when he had to defend the title against all the guys in the Rumble. So very similar. Wouldn't you agree with that, Annette?
I agree with that for the most part. Yeah, I think it is a one versus all, but I kind of feel like it is every woman for herself. If Alexa Bliss some way, somehow wins the title and keeps it, she's made. At WrestleMania, we always say how it's the showcase of the immortals. I'm telling you right now, in the women's world, women have been made at WrestleMania. Trish Stratus got legendary status when she won her match at WrestleMania 19. Mickie James was made at WrestleMania when she won her match at WrestleMania 22 against Trish Stratus. So, these matches have now taken a life of their own. And trust me, Charlotte was made last year when she became the WWE Women's Champion. Whoever comes out of this fight, if Alexa wins this with the talent that allegedly we're hearing they're gonna bring, if Alexa wins this, she will be she'll be in the conversation for at least to be one of the bright young of the future, and that is the thing. I guess if I'll say it like this, if one of the veterans of WWE wins this fight, then it's a stepping stone for them to further their launch into their career. I will say this. Alexa wins this, as young as she is, this will be her moment where she could say, I'm the next Lita, I'm the next Trish, I'm the next Mickey. Because look at what I've done at WrestleMania. My career could be launched forever. It's one of those moments. And like you say, in those type of instances, we'll wait and see. However, this match with Mickey and Becky Lynch, this was a good match. This was a great match. 2.5 stars for me. I just thought this was a solid fight. I didn't mind the Carmella interference at the end because it was well after the bell had rung. The fight was already over, and she jumped. And that was storyline progression, and it was also making her very known that after the bell, I want to become the champion at WrestleMania. It served a whole bunch of purposes, and it delivered on so many fronts. All right. That was Miz TV with the Miz and Maurice, and once again, it was bash John Cena, bash Nikki Bella, but this time Maurice was the headliner. She went kayfabe on us and talked about what happened during supposedly a in time, and this is highly publicized. I mean, a lot of people talked about this, and this was between the Bella twins and Maurice. How Maurice basically was rumored to have been coming back to WWE during the first season of Total Divas. It was her, Kelly, and Maria Kanellis, and the Bella twins allegedly blocked the move. And basically, all three women were not invited at all. And what they're saying, what Maurice is saying is, you stole 3.5 years of my life. That could have been money I could have had. That could have been stardom I could have had. That could have been fame. You knew that. You messed up, and now I'm going to make your life a living hell for this. Well, Cena comes out, and they're like, what are you talking about? It was a great promo, set it up. The next thing you know, Daniel Bryan comes out, and now Bryan is heated. He's like, you know what, Miz? You were saying that you were going to have some great guests on Miz TV. You didn't, and I really want to punch you in the face. And you've acted such a pain in the neck so many times that I really want to punch you in the face. But that are going to do it. So at WrestleMania, it's going to be John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, fifth in a punch-facing extravaganza on the biggest thrill ride in wrestling history, WrestleMania. Obviously, Miz and Maurice are absolutely livid with this. Cena and Nikki Bella are there through the moon that they're going to get to work together at WrestleMania. Will be the most unique mixed tag fight we've ever had in WrestleMania history. You see, absolutely flipped out on this, but we knew the writing was on the wall. A lot of fans are really upset with this match because they're like, there's no way this fight should even happen. Miz and Maurice are nowhere in the class of Cena and Nikki Bella, and they're fearing glorified squash could happen at WrestleMania. And I don't blame them for being upset with everything. out of all the fights on the SmackDown side, this is the one that has me concerned. Let alone my anger and my hostility on the Raw end with the Universal title. This is the fight that had me kind of shaking my head like, WWE, what are you? I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. The segment was awesome. I mean, I loved the fire. I loved the passion. I loved everything about it. This amazing in my eyes, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. So, Anthony, it's all yours, my friend.
What else is there to say, MF? This was the segment of the night. I mean, whoa. Okay. They went there. As usual, they went there. And that was a really great segment with The Miz shining as usual. Maurice was also really strong, and Daniel Bryan was great wrapping it up and officially setting up the match, which we knew was going to go down. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, how many dirt sheets did we read saying this was going to go down at WrestleMania? Read your dirt sheets, people. That's all I'm saying. Read your dirt sheets as well as your Bible. That's all I'm saying. That's the holy man here. But let me just also say this. Miz brought up, you saw Maurice. She was showing off her wedding ring, that unbelievable wedding ring that, Miz hooked her up with. Everybody knows. And let me just say it like this. Nikki is totally getting a ring at WrestleMania. And anyways, it was nice to see Cena actually act happy about this match. He made it clear in MF. You remember, he made it clear in mainstream interviews that this was not his idea. And he even said on SmackDown Live some time ago that he'd rather be facing The Undertaker. You remember that. And the verbal exchanges between the two sides have been entertaining enough that while it still feels like a step down for Cena, minus the engagement part, I'm looking forward to it. Daniel Bryan did a good job of transferring his frustration with Miz to Cena and Nikki, getting revenge for him. And wow, I mean, everything about this segment was great. Miz was great. Maurice, whoa, that was awesome. Well done, darling. And MF, you know the thing I have for Maurice. I mean, I had a thing for her. I mean, this is going to be Maurice's first in-ring match in WWE in over 7 years. I think it's been 7 years since Maurice last wrestled a match in a WWE ring. I think it was
thing that a lot of people have voiced their concern about was ring rust. How much are we going to see of that with Maurice? But the question is, will Maurice even get into the ring at WrestleMania? I know that they want to do a Nikki Maurice thing, but I kind of got a feeling that the lion's share of this match is going to be Miz and Cena.
As it should be. As it should be. They'll have a chance to right the wrong that they gave us at WrestleMania 27. We all remember that god-awful main event those two had at 27.
Well, it was more the ending of the match that really ruined the fight, because I thought it was an okay match until that horrific ending because of The Rock. But that's a discussion for another night and another day.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what hurt. That's what ultimately hurt that match that they had for the title in the Georgia Dome 6 years ago. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna right. I think they can right the wrong. I mean, because we've seen what Miz has done. I mean, Miz was definitely the most improved in 2016. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, say what you want about him. I mean, last year was a career year for the Miz. I mean, some Intercontinental title wins. Of course, that awesome feud he had with Dolph Ziggler. I mean, including that near 5-star classic they had at the No Mercy, which should have been the main event of No Mercy, but it is what it is. And then you look at Cena, anything he does, damn near, he's almost like Midas, for goodness sakes. Almost everything he touches turns to gold. I mean, he's had some classics himself. And I'll give Cena credit. I mean, for him, I know how badly he wanted to go up against Taker, and I have serious doubts that fight will ever happen. I mean, I thought this year was going to be the best chance for it, but But they put Taker with Roman, and now you got Cena and Nikki going up against The Miz and Maryse, which I think is going to be which I hope will be a solid match. I know MF's got some worries here, which surprises me because you being the SmackDown Live guy, I thought for sure you would have been pushing this thing hard.
But the thing is that no, go ahead.
If anybody should have had the doubts and concern, it should have been me, the Raw guy. I mean, and saying, "Oh, this is going to be a train wreck waiting to happen." No, I got a good feeling about this. If all goes well, if they give it enough time and they book it correctly, and we don't get any shenanigans or BS or what have you, this could end up being a sleeper fight of the night here. I hope so. I'm rooting for these four. I really am. I mean, why would you have such phenomenal build? I mean, this thing has been on fire the last few weeks. Why would you build a match so wonderfully and then yank the rug out from under us come match time, and it ends up being an absolute disappointment? Case in point, 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. You know where I'm going with this, MF. Triple H and Randy Orton. Do I even need to tell you how incredible that build was? And then what happened? You and I saw the match, MF. I had you over my house that night. You remember that match with Triple H and Orton at WrestleMania 25. We thought it was going to be all kinds of fun. We thought it was going to be hella fun. Yeah, okay. Not so much. Not so much. But then again, you had to follow the instant classic that was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. But again, story for another day. But I got a good feeling about this fight. I really do. I think these four can bring it. If they get the appropriate amount of time and they book it right and they don't give us any BS shenanigans or what have you, I think it can be a sleeper fight of the night because, I mean, I know there's the concern about Maryse, her first match in 7 years, but I got faith. I really do. I got faith. I think these four can bring it. They'll bring it. Bill's been too good for it for them to mess it up. That's all I can say. So don't pull a Triple H and Orton on us. That's all I can say. So segment of the night. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes next. And I ultimately cannot wait to see what happens at WrestleMania when these four go at it. In my early projection, I got Cena and Nikki Bella winning the match. And I also have Cena proposing to Nikki in the ring. She's going to get her ring. Cena's going to marry her. He's going to ask to marry. He's going to pop the question following the match at WrestleMania. Book it. Let's move on to Meth.
All right. And the next fight we had was the SmackDown Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James in a non-title fight. Winner of the bout was Mickie James. Anthony, it's all yours.
By a smidge, this was the fight of the night for me. Solid 3 stars. Good match here as the women are getting time to build to their Mania match. Becky Lynch and Natalya had a more invested crowd throughout their bout, but I felt that Bliss and James had a better intensity, along with crisper and cleaner work overall. And this was a very good night for the women of SmackDown. I mean, you know as well as I do, MF. I still think that my Raw women are better because of the talent involved. In 2 matches, both of them delivered, and you had storyline progression by adding Carmella to the mix. So, SmackDown women for at least this one night, well done, well done. That's how you build to it. That's how you build to a match. So I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what the plan is for these women at WrestleMania when they battle for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Gauntlet. Is it a gauntlet match? Is it a battle royale? I don't know. MF doesn't know. None of us know. Hopefully with 2 episodes of SmackDown Live left before WrestleMania 33, either Daniel Bryan or Shane O'Mac will give us the clarity that we're aching for, that we're craving right now. So we'll see what happens. But by a smidge, fight of the night, solid 3 stars. Very good night for the women of SmackDown Live. Well done, ladies. Let's keep it up and keep Raw on the toes. It's all yours, MF.
I agree. Fight of the night, 3 stars. Nothing more to say. We'll just move on to the next thing. All right. Getting into this. It was basically Shane McMahon arrived in the building after basically he wasn't there the whole night. AJ Styles jumped back and virtually beat him down. He basically grabbed him, tossed him all over the place, and then smashed his head through a car window. Shane was a bloody mess. You had Finley, you had Renee Young, as they were basically watching in horror what had happened. Basically, AJ Styles later picked up his stuff, was ready to leave the building. Oh no, Daniel Bryan shows up, gets right into his face, and says, really, I've lost all respect for you. What you did was an act of cowardice, and you don't think you're untouchable. AJ's like, what are you gonna do? You think you're gonna fire me? And Daniel Bryan said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now get the hell out of the building. Basically, it seems like to me that at the time, Daniel Bryan had fired AJ Styles from SmackDown Live, and this set all of social media went ablaze. A lot of people really ticked off at Daniel Bryan, thinking that was a quick trigger that should not have happened. And let me tell you, Daniel Bryan got a lot of heat for this. A lot of heat from the IWC. Basically, one of the biggest heroes of the IWC was being ridiculed by the fans. So, whatever the case may be, but Anthony, let's talk about that segment. My word is all I can say.
You already gave your thoughts on that?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because it was supposed to be you leading off, but yeah, okay. Oh boy. Cue the immortal words of JR. By God, that man's got a family. By God. Yeah, by God, he needed medical attention. Shane got busted open. Michael Bullock and I we did our SmackDown live chat last night, and I noticed it. I noticed it right away. I saw the gash. I saw the bloody gash in his head. Oh my Lord, that was ugly. These two may legitimately kill each other at Mania because they will try to out-stupid bump each other. As long as both survive and I am entertained, make it so. I mean, because we know this is going to happen at Mania. Very good beatdown angle. Try as they might, I still don't believe they will be able to turn the WrestleMania crowd against AJ Styles. The question is whether they will cheer both guys or boo Shane O'Mac. I don't know. And considering that AJ Styles has had numerous success, big-time success in Orlando, I think you know where I'm going with that, MF. Considering AJ used to work in Orlando for another wrestling promotion, which, let's face it, he was one of the many people responsible for, building it. Let's not kid ourselves. And did everything there was to do there. So, I don't know. But anyways, that was an amazing beatdown angle. I mean, yowza. That's all I can say about that. MF, John Cena, back in the summer of 2005 on a Monday Night Raw, he uttered the words, real recognizing real. And you stuck with that. That stuck with you. It stuck with me, too. I think that angle right there last night, as I give it back to you, that was real recognizing real, wouldn't you say?
Can't deny it. Can't argue it. No doubt about it. All right, guys. Unfortunately, we do have a cutout here. I know normally we never do cutouts on this show, but unfortunately, this was a cutout. Mojo Rawley versus Dolph Ziggler. Mojo Rawley won the bout at 2 minutes and 30 seconds via countout. Did real nothing for me. Did nothing for Florio. I would probably assume, Anthony, you're going to agree, worst fight of the night?
Absolutely. Nobody knew it done.
All right. So good enough for me to call for a for a cutout on that then. And the next thing we had, well, Randy Orton cut the promo about why he did what he did, interrupted by Bray Wyatt, and yeah, let the creepiness begin. Anthony, you lead off on this one.
If I were to sum up the Mojo Rawley Dolph Ziggler fight, let me just say it like this. If the goal was to spend 2.5 minutes and ensure that I don't give a crap about either of those guys, mission accomplished. Bad hype for the Andre Battle Royal. And Dolph Ziggler just looks like he doesn't even care anymore. Simple as that. But now, as far as the Orton stuff goes, I thought that the performances by both men were very good, and that it followed up on the angle well. But at the same time, it didn't really connect with me. Fine performances and follow-up, that I can admit, but it didn't get me, next tier level excited to make me want to see the fight. I mean, it's almost like, what they were doing before, back in the fall. You remember. I mean, you remember back when they were, back around September and October, right around Backlash and No Mercy, when we started this whole thing. You remember, MF, I was very critical of that back then. And then they teamed them up, and I thought that was phenomenal. And now that they've split them up again, and now you've got this match, I mean, I'm looking forward to the match, absolutely, because I think this is where we're going to finally get that, that match that we've been wanting, that entertaining, exciting, Shakespearean drama-laden bout that these two are capable of for the championship of the world. No doubt about it. But here, I mean, while I thought it was fine and a good follow-up storyline progression, yes. I don't know. This one just didn't really, excite me, is what I'm trying to say. I know out of all the I know you're looking forward to all the matches on the Mania card, MF. I know that you are, but I know this is the one. I know this is your fight right here, because this is your boy. This is your boy, Randy Orton, looking to become a 13-time overall champion of the world. And if I'm being honest, my early projection is I think he's going to. I've got him winning. I've got him becoming champion of the world yet again. Remember, last time WrestleMania was in Orlando, what did he do? He did the unthinkable. He did the impossible. He left the champion, WrestleMania 24. Nobody gave him a chance against John Cena and Triple H. I know I didn't. But there was one person here who gave him that chance. You know who that person was? It's the host of this show. Need I say more? And that's your thoughts.
No, I agree. I think it was a solid excitement. I thought it was a great way to close a great segment. I thought everybody did good in their parts, and there's really nothing more for me to say. You basically hit all the talking points. So now we had our main event of the evening, which was versus the Usos non-title fight. Usos wins the bout. Basically, I thought this was about a 2.5 stars. Solid main event match. Nothing bad to say. I thought everybody got their ammo on what they needed to do. This opens the door for the Usos to finally get their tag team title shot at WrestleMania. I mean, there's really nothing for me to add to that. Anthony, it's yours.
Third best fight of the show here, 2 to 2.5 stars. I agree, MF. The right team definitely won this non-title bout, and hopefully it will lead to a straight-up match between these two at WrestleMania. And if we're really lucky, their WrestleMania match will not be interrupted by shots of Shane McMahon walking backstage. I mean, I thought that took away from it a little bit, but other than that, well-wrestled match, and they got just about 11 minutes of time here. I'm not at all surprised the Usos won. I had them winning going into this, considering it was a non-title match. Usos win, then they just cemented themselves as the number one contenders. You don't need to put either one of us on the championship committee. You don't have to have MF on that committee, and you don't have to have me as the silent majority of that committee. So I think you know where I'm going with that, MF. So that's all I can say on that. So 2 to 2.5 stars, third best fight of the night for me. and a good way to close it out, and a good way to close out a solid but not overly spectacular edition of SmackDown Live. Can't believe I'm saying that for once. So, with that being said, MF, what else is there to do?
Well, there was one other bit of news that needed to be addressed after everything that happened. Shane McMahon came out, and this was a bizarre ending. Basically, he grabs a microphone from the gorilla position, comes out, and basically says, AJ Styles said that he was looking for a match at WrestleMania. Well, he got one. Uh, a lot of people didn't know what it meant, and it was a bizarre because I thought Shane was gonna say something else, but the show cut away to Chris Lee's Knows Best, and I kind of felt like, oh my God, WWE, you goofed up, you probably, what did you do? I mean, did you cut Shane off midway through his promo? What the hell was that? So very bizarre, very confusing ending. I'm not going to talk anything more than that, but it sounds like it is now confirmed. Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles Mania. It's going to happen. So with that said, Anthony, I'm going to give you your overall review. So what did you think of the show?
Well, thought it was a little bit of a step down than from what we usually get on SmackDown Live. Let me see. I'm going to give it between 6 and 6.75 out of 10 for this show. SmackDown started off very strongly and did some very good work at setting up Mania and following up on last week's show and the established angles. But things went off of a cliff once we hit Mojo Rawley and Dolph Ziggler, the Orton and Wyatt segment, and that was pretty much it. And what do you need to see from this show? The opening segment with AJ Styles, his attack on Shane O'Mac, the Miz TV segment, both women's matches, and maybe even the tag team fight. So, you know what? I'm actually gonna tweak the rating a little bit. I'm gonna give it between 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I think that's the best I can do. First half was great, like I said, but the second half not so much. So, but it was still a good show, though. Still a good show, though. That's all I'm gonna say. It was still good. And like I said, AJ's opening promo, his attack on the beatdown angle on Shane, the Miz TV, both women's fights, and the tag team main event. So that's all I can say on that. 6.5, 7 out of 10. I think that's the best I can do. So, MF, your overall thoughts on SmackDown Live?
Pure 6 out of 10. No doubt about it. I totally agree. Like you said, the first hour of the show was amazing. Second hour, they kind of were dragging their feet there for a little bit. It kind of felt like it kind of was like the thing got slammed into neutral and they couldn't really break away or get an advantage or anything like that. And it really was frustrating. Especially towards the end of the evening, it's just like, what the hey, guys? So I hope SmackDown does better. I think they were a little better than Raw this time around, but not by much. Kind of was an in-betweener. So we'll wait and see what happens. All right, guys. So you wanted it, you got it. Ring of Honor. It was their 15th anniversary event that went down from Las Vegas, Nevada at the Sam's Town Live from their show in Las Vegas. And what we had was, well, first off we had was Kenny King one-on-one with Jay White. Winner of the bout was Jay White. This was a good match. I really liked how this played out. It wasn't really amazing for most of it. I mean, it was basically just going really sideways, every which way this went. I thought it was a good match, nothing amazing. The next thing we had was the 6-man tag team fight, which was 3 members from the Bullet Club. Well, actually, no, this was a 6-man tag team fight. It was Hangman Page, Frankie Kazarian. Well, actually, okay, I'm sorry. 6-man mayhem for a number 1 contender spot for the Ring of Honor television title. It was Hangman Page, Frankie Kazarian, both representing the Bullet Club. Chris Sabin, Motor City Machine Guns. The last true real man of professional wrestling, Silas Young, Cheeseburger, and Damian. The winner of the bout was Frankie Kazarian. Holy crap, what a match this was. One of the top fights of the night. The crowd in New York went ballistic. First off, Cheeseburger is the most over guy in Ring of Honor. I'm going to say it. He's better than James Ellsworth because he's got more better wrestling. He's an actual wrestler, but this guy reminds me of Ellsworth. You know, he's the ultimate underdog, but this guy is he's a fighter and people love him. He's big in Japan, big in the United States, and whenever he goes all over the world, he's going to be, oh man, this guy's awesome. All right. Next up, we had Jay Lethal versus Bobby Fish. Jay Lethal wins the match. Really good fight. Nice back and forth. Fish losing is not surprising. I don't think it was that big of a deal. So we're just going to move on to the next fight we had on the card was the 6-man tag team title match, and it was Matt Taven, TK O'Ryan, and Vinny Malinati, the Kingdom versus Dalton Castle and the Boys, winner of the bout, and still Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, the Kingdom. I mean, it was a good fight. Nothing, but you know, it was good. It was good. Next thing we had was the villain Marty Scurll versus Lio Rush for the Ring of Honor TV title. Winner of the bout, still Ring of Honor television champion, is Marty Scurll. What a match this was. Really fun TV title fight. Scurll was absolutely amazing. Nothing more to say about this. This was solid, to say the very least. Next thing we had was Mark Briscoe, Jay Briscoe, and Bully Ray versus Hanson, Rowe, and Davey Boy Smith Jr., winners of the bout, the Briscoes and Bully Ray. I mean, this was pretty cool. Good match. Solid fight. This had, you know, a lot of back and forth action, but I think the right team won. Then this was one of the biggest fights of the evening, one of the most highly anticipated fights, and I cannot believe this actually happened. For the Ring of Honor tag team titles, it was Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta versus Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, and the reigning, defending Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, Brother Nero, the Hardys. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, still Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys. They win the match. They keep the belts. My God. This would it okay. If it wasn't for the main event, this would have been the fight of the night. This was absolutely ridiculous. 4 to 4.5 stars is my rating for this fight. This was freaking, you know, if you want to order this on New Japan, I'm going to say this. Ring of Honor TV or Ring of Honor website, this is the reason why you ordered this, because this was amazing. This was great. This was awesome. Nothing more to say about it. Event. It was Adam Cole putting the title on the line, the Ring of Honor World title on the line against Christopher Daniels, the winner of the bout, and Ring of Honor World Champion, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. Oh my God. What a main event. What a great match. The right man won the belt. There's really nothing more for me to say. This was an unbelievable main event. It was so awesome. Frankie Kazarian swerves the Bullet Club. He was part of the Brotherhood. There's really nothing more after that. After the swerve, for Daniels hitting 3 BMEs, 3 best moonsaults ever for the 1, 2, 3 to win the title. All right. It was a great night, great event all the way around. 8 to 8.5 is my official rating for the end of the night. There's really nothing for me to say. So, guys, that is it. That ends our show for the night. I mean, what a night it was. Give you a quick update right now. Before we go on and say goodnight, right now it is Providence up 53 to 43 with 11.5 minutes in the second half left in the game. Winner plays SMU. So, and speaking of Friday, Strictly Sports, we're talking about, it's all about the tournament. We're going to be recapping all of the second round matches from the Thursday coverage, and we're also going to be talking about the games, the early games on Friday. If a game is down to the wire, we will do live commentary of those matches. My goodness. So, with that said, for Anthony Floyo, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. You know the routine. Huzz and Ham House, we are out. We'll see you Friday. So long for now. Have a good night.